You play stupid games with the internet, you win stupid prizes, and nobody exemplifies that crash and burn trajectory quite like Lilly Tino. This creator started out as a beacon of positivity, rallying an army of hundreds of thousands who genuinely cheered on their transition journey. But fast forward to today, they are easily one of the most reviled figures on TikTok, and honestly, the backlash is completely self-inflicted. The channel morphed from advocating for trans rights into a disturbing highlight reel of bullying underpaid servers just for clicks and engagement. Okay, the Sweetwater starts at $6. Okay, not sir. I mean not. I am so sorry, I apologize. It feels like a knife twisting in my gut every single time. But you know what actually hurts? Filming inside women's restrooms without consent. Or how about dropping wildly inappropriate commentary right in the middle of Disneyland with kids everywhere? I think Disney is going to ban me for this one. My corn dog is still intact. I am not happy about that. But sadly, it takes a long time to turn a corn dog into an inverted corn dog. Lilly Tino's career trajectory is basically a masterclass in how to alienate every single human being on the platform. They managed to drive away the very community that built them up. They had countless off-ramps, countless chances to chill out. A simple apology could have fixed it. Instead, Lilly decided to double down, triple down, and push until their corner was completely empty. And I am not here to hurt anybody. I am always going to be a confrontational person. But I think there are ways to do it that are not channeling the anger I feel at the world for hurting me. So to that end, I'm going to take a break. Well, that break might become permanent if they get blacklisted from their favorite theme park. That is just the cherry on top of a destroyed career. Hi, I am the Internet Anarchist, and I drop deep dive documentaries every week. Today, we are dissecting the catastrophic, and frankly deserved, collapse of Lilly Tino. We are looking at how they baited the entire web into a frenzy. We will see how they weaponized their own fan base against themselves and committed privacy violations so egregious they could genuinely end up in handcuffs. But you know what is not locked up? That subscribe button. And honestly, it is a mystery to me why 76% of you watching right now have not clicked it yet. So do me a favor, hit that button, and let's unravel this mess. Before becoming the internet's public enemy #1, Lilly Tino was just a 27-year-old named Nicholas Contino. Back in 2020, they came out as a trans woman to their workplace, and by all accounts, the reception was incredibly positive. Colleagues actually urged them to document this journey for the world to see. Lilly took that advice to heart and launched the TikTok channel. Nobody could have predicted just how quickly the algorithm would latch onto this content. Lilly didn't just grow, they exploded. By merely their 5th upload, they scored a viral hit with over 9 million views. But the view count wasn't the most important part, it was the comments. The feedback was overwhelmingly wholesome, a tidal wave of love. Eventually, Lilly pivoted, branding themselves as a professional food critic. The content shifted to live streaming dining experiences. And in the beginning, Lilly and the live chat collaborated on these massive, heartwarming gestures, crowdsourcing huge tips to surprise the waitstaff at the end of the meal. My audience and I came together to put together a little tip for you. Oh, thank you. Thank you guys so much. That is very sweet. Oh my goodness. Happy birthday. Do you want to know how much it is? No. I am afraid to ask. Do you want me to write it down for you? No. Oh my God. You guys. That is so sweet. Oh my God. It seemed perfect on the surface, but one of these innocent-looking broadcasts was about to mark the beginning of the end. Ground zero for the controversy? A cheesecake factory. Lilly was there eating with their dog when suddenly, a woman at the adjacent table supposedly launched an unprovoked verbal attack. She essentially announced her villain status immediately. You know, I am a TERF, right? Are you a TERF? I am a TERF. Wow. For the uninitiated, that acronym stands for a radical feminist who excludes and opposes trans rights. And staying true to that brand, this lady was apparently ready to go to war. Would you like me to move somewhere else? I will. No. Actually, you should. You should tell me about being a TERF. You are a boy, right? Don't bleep with me, because honestly, I did. Lilly uploaded the footage, and it instantly rocketed to the top of their page. It became their most viral clip ever, generating a massive sympathy wave. People were saying things like, "She really thought she did something there. I love your composure, I would have lost it, and I am so sorry. You handled this so well." But as the view count climbed, the scrutiny started. Viewers began spotting red flags, specifically the jagged editing and jump cuts that seemed to conveniently hide what Lilly was saying. It looked like they were editing out their own antagonism to make the woman look worse. Then came the darker theory. The whole thing was scripted. A total fabrication. One commenter broke it down perfectly, pointing out how unnatural the entire interaction felt. The first video with the TERF screaming, "It feels fake to me," like the person going off screen, and screaming out of nowhere. I am wondering if this was set up by Lilly. It would have been easy to just have their mum do it. Imagine dragging a friend to a high-end bistro only to cause a massive spectacle and get banned for life. Most rational adults would handle a grievance privately, but these incidents were about to haunt her online legacy. They successfully planted a seed of distrust among the audience, and eventually, that seed sprouted. It paved the way for massive skepticism regarding Lilly's wholesome on-camera persona. Initially, the majority gave her a pass, until the rage bait tactics became impossible to ignore. You see, once that confrontation with the so-called TERF lady went viral, the channel's direction shifted aggressively. Sure, the food reviews continued, but the real view magnet became the victimization content. Lilly began uploading clip after clip of service workers accidentally using the wrong honorifics. She would spiral into a visible meltdown, often demanding to speak to management over a slip of the tongue. Stop right there. She. Her. Yeah, that is the requirement. You say it is fine, but clearly, the vibe suggests it is absolutely not fine. Hi, those are my pronouns. I am not a sir. Oh, so it is sir again? Wow. Just wow. She describes it as a dagger to the heart, despite specifically requesting the correct terms beforehand. On the surface, these uploads masqueraded as educational moments, supposedly teaching empathy. Did you just address me as sir? I need to let you know the previous server also made that mistake. What? Call me sir? Yeah, it feels like. It is genuinely painful to hear that word. Oh, my apologies. Very well, thank you. No, yeah, thanks. I'm definitely not a sir. Nothing quite like a fresh instance of misgendering to ruin the meal. She claims it feels like a gut punch that must be addressed immediately. I have to correct him. I have to explain that it causes pain. It hurts even more when it is accidental because it means he sees a man. I realize you had no bad intentions, but I am not a sir. I am so sorry. It is all right. I know it was not malicious. It just, it stings. I know when people are analyzing me. It is fine, but it effectively ruins the mood. Thank you. I am not a sir. Oh, sorry. Not a sir. Not a sir. The runner who delivered the entree called me sir twice consecutively, but as this content flooded the feed, the viewership began to turn, visibly irritated by her harsh treatment of the service staff, with comments reading, "Oh my god, you are incredibly thin-skinned. Why harass a manager and guilt trip people for a simple mistake? It is inevitable. Move on." Commenters also noted that these employees are likely scraping by on minimum wage. They are working grueling shifts, and judging by the accents, English likely isn't their primary language, so there was zero malice involved. Yet, despite the growing backlash, these controversy-filled clips were gold for engagement algorithms. Lilly's TikTok metrics skyrocketed into the millions. But fame is a fickle beast. This visibility quickly morphed into a nightmare because trolls noticed exactly how to push her buttons. Strangers began mining her reactions for their own content, openly mocking her in the streets. Is it a 10 out of 10, sir? I have no idea. This is exclusive. Oh, do you want to be famous? Yes, okay. You want to repeat that to the lens? There are hundreds of people watching you and me live right now. Go for it. No, go ahead. You just called me a man. Don't back down now. Do not be a coward. And while a loyal fraction of the fanbase defended her through the public harassment, that support would crumble when a skeleton from her closet was dragged into the light in April 2024. A user on X named Riley unearthed screenshots of Lilly's disturbing digital footprint on Reddit. These were conversation logs from when she was 18, including a recount of a deeply inappropriate incident. She described an encounter from when she was merely 3 years old with another toddler, framing it with bizarrely erotic undertones. They also dug up a Reddit thread where Lilly shared a photo of herself performing blackface using chocolate spread. And when the internet called her out back then, her response was dismissive. It is just comedy, lighten up everyone. These racially insensitive and predatory posts exposed a staggering level of hypocrisy. Here was someone destroying minimum wage workers for accidental slip-ups while hiding a history of genuine bigotry. Riley dropped a bombshell tweet featuring a screenshot speculating just how low Lilly was willing to stoop, essentially plotting to manufacture another viral victimhood crisis just like the Cheesecake Factory incident, but this time targeting Disneyland, to get kicked out for clout. And while the internet sleuths missed a few nuances, their prediction about the stunt going down at the Magic Kingdom was dead on. However, nobody could have predicted just how twisted the actual execution would be. Because during this trip, Lilly decided the happiest place on earth was the perfect venue to graphically describe gender reassignment surgery, right there at a family restaurant surrounded by kids. You can literally hear the excitement about potentially getting the boot. I swear we're about to get banned. They went into disturbingly graphic detail about having their cake pops removed and their plan to get their marshmallow wand surgically altered into a marshmallow tunnel. Yeah, you heard that right. Unsurprisingly, the comments section wasn't having it, and the backlash was instant. People were commenting things like, "This is absolutely vile, keep that conversation private," and "This is repulsive behavior." There are a million places to discuss this, and a children's theme park isn't one of them. Calls for Lilly to be put on a registry started flooding in. But let's set aside the insanity of discussing this. While decked out in Mickey Mouse gear in a crowded public dining area teeming with toddlers, you cannot ignore the predator-like vibe of uploading this straight to TikTok, an app crawling with impressionable minors. This scandal sent people digging through the archives, unearthing a disturbing clip where Lilly mimicked the beloved children's host, Miss Rachel. It seemed like a calculated move to lure in a young audience to lecture them on adult topics. The clip goes, "Hi friends, today we're tackling a super important topic, what it means to be transgender. It's a big word, but I promise it's easy to understand. To say this rubbed people the wrong way," is the understatement of the century. The fact that you specifically chose a kid-centric amusement park for this stunt reveals your true character. Lilly even managed to alienate a massive chunk of the trans community who flooded the comments with, "Disrespectfully, you are the exact reason people despise us. Don't do this. You are actively damaging our cause by being inappropriate enough to discuss genital surgery at Disney World around children. I reject you from this community." Thousands of likes proved they weren't alone, but Lilly was too addicted to the rage bait to care. It was all about maximizing engagement and, by default, the paycheck. Whether it was sheer stupidity or a calculated escalation is up for debate, but one thing is undeniable. This next stunt was the career suicide that finally tanked their TikTok presence. Fast forward to June 2nd, 2025. Lilly dropped a video dubbed Bathroom Tea, featuring a slideshow of selfies taken in virtually every restroom at Disneyland. The alleged goal? Ranking them by safety for trans individuals. But while Lilly claimed to feel secure, the innocent bystanders in those restrooms definitely weren't afforded the same courtesy. A top comment with over 300,000 likes nailed it. "I felt safe? Girl, nobody else in there did." Because in the background of these vanity shots, Lilly captured unsuspecting strangers without consent. It wasn't just creepy, it was potentially a criminal offense. One furious viewer threatened to escalate this directly to Disney's legal department, ensuring a permanent ban. They wrote, "Hey, just so you know, this is illegal in Florida. I'm sending this, plus your corn dog video, straight to corporate. I've already been on the phone with them. They asked for the links as evidence. This means you can kiss those Disney cruises goodbye, too, since you've already announced that as the next vacation, you're begging strangers to fund." Naturally, Lilly completely missed the gravity of the situation, posting a follow-up trying to downplay the invasion of privacy, with a textbook example of gaslighting. "Oh, those bathroom selfies really triggered you guys. Huh? Saying it's inappropriate? Let me give you a reality check. Literally, every famous person you idolize has taken a bathroom mirror pic at some point. It's not just celebs, apparently. Any woman you've ever met has probably snapped a photo in a public restroom. Why? You want to know why? Because we look cute and want to capture the moment. They even tried to spin it as a trans discrimination issue rather than a privacy violation. The easy excuse here is, "Oh Lilly, you're a trans woman, so the rules are different for you." And sure, there's truth to that. Society judges trans women based on how well they blend in. If you pass, you don't look trans. I know I don't pass, trust me, I get it, but passing privilege exists. Lilly Tino clearly sidestepped the actual problem. The backlash wasn't about gender identity. It was about the fact that the issue wasn't that they snapped a photo while struggling to pass. The problem was specifically where Lilly decided to capture those images. You had innocent bystanders clearly visible in the frame. Folks who definitely didn't sign a release form to be blasted online. They broadcasted it to the entire web, and let's be honest, there is a high probability Lilly understands precisely why the backlash is happening, particularly when you consider the alleged purpose of their rating system was supposed to demonstrate just how, quote-unquote, safe the facilities were. In reality, Lilly wasn't grading the tiles, they were grading the human beings inside them. Yet, rather than addressing the actual privacy violation, they doubled down on their signature rage bait tactics, desperate to squeeze out a few more views. They tried to spin a narrative of being bullied, but that strategy blew up in their face. Nobody bought it this time around. However, getting ghosted by their fanbase was about to look like a minor inconvenience, because barely 48 hours later, Lilly got slapped with lawsuits from a minimum of 2 individuals photographed at the Magic Kingdom, including a furious mum whose minor child was exposed in the background. Think that's bad? We're just getting started. It turns out this little stunt made its way all the way up to the Florida Attorney General's desk, triggering a full-blown criminal probe into exactly what Lilly was up to. If the gavel comes down hard, we are talking about a potential 5-year vacation behind bars and a $5,000 penalty, thanks to the state's rigorous privacy laws. Laws which explicitly forbid snapping unauthorized pics in places where folks have a legitimate expectation of not being watched. Their career of clout chasing and questionable ethics finally hit a wall. They took to the app to address the situation, appearing completely crushed yet still refusing to accept reality. They claimed their mission was merely to educate and entertain, still gripping that victim narrative tight, insisting they never meant harm while admitting to having a naturally combative personality, but acknowledging that projecting their personal resentment against the world isn't the right way to handle things. So, the conclusion was a sudden hiatus. And ever since that announcement, the channel has been dead silent. It appears they are actually following through on stepping away. Lilly says it's for mental health, but let's be real, this reeks of a legal team screaming stop posting until the court cases settle. Whatever the motive, the online community is collectively breathing a sigh of relief to see them go. No more harassing minimum wage servers, no more graphic medical discussions in the middle of a family theme park. But as the fallout spreads, the internet detectives are cooking up theories to make sense of this madness. The leading hypothesis? That this entire online persona was a calculated performance from day one. Critics point out it has been 3 full years since the transition journey supposedly began. Yet there's been zero discernible shift in voice or appearance. It's as if time stood still. People are speculating that this isn't a medical journey at all, but rather a specific lifestyle fetish they are indulging in. The theory suggests surgery was never on the table. And honestly, looking at the content archive, it holds water. Long before the Disney bathroom fiasco, a huge chunk of their videos was just a list of excuses for why the procedure hadn't happened yet. It feels like a